So now what we're going to do is go to the next thing, which is the goal and growth group format. Now what I'd like you to do, now I'm going to, for 3 parts of the meeting, right before that part of the meeting, I'm going to describe what to do. I'm going to give you some guidance. So now let me pretend it's right before the goal and growth group. For the goal and growth group, this is a meeting where you get support on your goals. There are 3 questions that if you read on page such and such, you'll see the format for the goal and growth group. Again, one of the most important things to do is to be prepared. Prepare your comments, maybe just jot down a few words on a post-it note, and so you're ready with what you're going to say. Because otherwise, if you're, during the meeting, you're trying to think of what you're going to say, you're not really listening to the other person. Okay? Besides preparing your comments, another part of the goal and growth group, or another thing I want to explain, is that at first, each week you might be sitting down with a different person. But what we would like you to do is to find 2 people that you keep meeting with for maybe an extended period. It might be 2 months, it might be 4 months, so that you get some continuity, so that you don't have to keep explaining to the other 2 people what your goals are. They know what your goals are, they're tracking your progress. In a sense, they're walking with you, and you're walking with them in terms of the different goals. Okay? There are more pointers in the orientation guide and also in the members guide, but that's enough to start you out. Okay? Now let's assume that we are now about to, the goal and growth group is over, we've taken the break, and I tell people to get in and put their chairs in the big circle for networking. Okay. For networking, we are asking for something that we're looking for. In about 30 seconds to a minute, you want to explain, you just want to ask for something that will help you towards one of your goals. You could be looking for a good auto mechanic. You could be looking for someone, a client for a business that you're starting. You could be looking for a certain computer program that will help you do something. You don't know the name of a good one. So there are a lot of things you could be looking for. And again, we want you to be prepared to think ahead of time what you want. And of course, you don't have to share. I forgot to mention that during the goal and growth group. You don't always have to share if you don't have something to say. You can always pass. But if we have 15 or 20 people and we have 10 to 15 minutes for the networking, and people need to say it in 30 seconds to a minute. And here, I'll give you an example. You can ask for more than one thing, by the way. I'm looking for someone to be a client of my yodeling lessons. I'm looking for a good car mechanic. I'm looking for a wife, and I'm looking for a desert island, tropical island to move to. So I said all that in less than 30 seconds. Now, the way people respond to the networking is during the beginning of the Action Cafe, maybe before or after they got a cup of coffee, they go up to Jane or Peter and they say, yes, I do know a computer program, or yes, I do know a good car mechanic or massage therapist, and here's the information, or give me your email, and I'll email you. So that is how the networking is completed and how it happens very quickly. Now, an alternative to saying what you want is occasionally you might want to share something with this all-around community, if you've gotten to become part of it. You might want to share some big event that's happened in your life. You got a job, you graduated, or maybe something, maybe there was a death in the family. So that's a time when you can briefly mention something. And again, during the after cafe, someone might ask you more about that. Okay, after the networking, and we would have people, at least some people, do the networking, I would explain the action signal and the community announcements. Once we have a leadership team, or if something is happening, for example, we'll skip a week during Christmas, that will be a group announcement. The other thing is something called the action signal, which is sort of a new idea. The action signal is really just a summary of what the members have done that week. What will happen is we'll have a box that's just labeled the action signal, and when members come in, when they first come in the door, they're going to have a slip of paper. We're going to ask them to write down how much time they volunteered, whether formally or informally, if they've made any donations, if they've made a significant advancement, like they completed the communication skill upgrade. So anything that is positive action, that is significant positive action, that relates to all around is written down. One person has the role of adding this all up, and during the action signal, and I could do that now because a few people have contributed this first week, here's what we've done. We have the 4 of us participating have generated 5 volunteer hours this week. We've generated $35 in donations to Charity A and Charity B, and there hasn't been any advancement this first week yet. Now, the more people that contribute, the greater the numbers become, and then new people hear about that and they realize that this program is generating results. We're saving time, we're saving money, we're making donations, we're learning different things. And if you think about a radio antenna or a radio beacon, it is sending out a message through the radio waves. We're trying to send out a message in action, because action speaks louder than words. That's the idea of the action signal. It will be eventually published on the website. If we have more than one all-around community, the individual numbers will be there plus the sum. And the idea is that we are in a sense sending the signal in action. So that is pretty much my summary. My final comments are, like I said, I covered a lot of ground. For next week, if you want to come back, I encourage you to read through the orientation guide. If you have questions, email or call me. And there is a little page at the end of the booklet on how to prepare for every meeting. So you can just fill in the blank and be prepared for next week's meeting. All right? Thank you for your time, and let's enjoy some refreshments in the Action Cafe.